Yo champs, back again on Wrestle Scope Daily with the latest WWE talk. Don't miss out, subscribe, and let's jump in. Hola. After 3 tense days of silence, Roman Reigns finally addressed the WWE Universe about Drew McIntyre's shocking attack on Jimmy Uso. Fans expected a passionate response from the tribal chief, some show of emotion for his injured cousin, but what they got instead stunned the world. Roman's cold, self-focused promo left even his most loyal supporters questioning whether the man they've been defending all these years still has any loyalty left to his family. A heavy start to SmackDown. The show opened with a somber recap of the backstage ambush that left Jimmy Uso badly shaken. The video highlighted the chaos, security rushing in, and commentators explaining that Jimmy remained under medical supervision. The arena fell silent. This wasn't entertainment anymore. This felt real, personal, and painful. Michael Cole reminded viewers that Roman Reigns had remained silent all week, but would finally break that silence tonight. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation and tension. The tribal chief arrives. When Roman's music hit, the reaction was unlike anything heard in years. Boos mixed with nervous cheers as fans tried to guess which version of Roman they were about to see. He walked to the ring wearing his ceremonial necklace, flanked by Paul Heyman, his expression unreadable. Instead of the confident swagger fans associate with him, his movements were measured, deliberate, almost too controlled. Even Heyman looked uneasy, unsure how the night would unfold. Why does it matter what I think? Roman stood in the center of the ring and let the noise fade before finally speaking. All week, I've been hearing that people want to know what the tribal chief thinks about Jimmy Uso. He began, then he dropped the line that froze the crowd. Why does it matter what I think? Gasps echoed across the arena. The audience expected emotion, anger, maybe even grief, but not detachment. Roman's tone was cold, calm, and completely void of sympathy. Shifting the blame, Roman went on to say that Jimmy was a grown man who knew the risks of being in the bloodline. He understood that being close to me makes you a target, Roman said. The crowd erupted in boos. Fans couldn't believe what they were hearing. Rather than expressing concern, Roman seemed to suggest that Jimmy's pain was the price of association. Paul Heyman's face behind him told the story. He looked like he wanted to step in and stop the train wreck unfolding before his eyes. The focus turns to Drew McIntyre. Roman then shifted attention to Drew McIntyre, accusing him of being jealous and obsessed. He claimed Drew attacked Jimmy only because he couldn't face Roman himself. That's not my failure, Roman said. That's Drew, showing what kind of man he really is. Instead of protecting his family's honor, Roman painted himself as the victim of obsession. Every line pushed fans further away. This wasn't the tribal chief defending his bloodline. It was a man guarding his ego, refusing to promise revenge. The next part of Roman's speech sealed the reaction. Everyone wants me to promise revenge, he said. Why would I lower myself to Drew's level? I'm the head of the table. I don't chase people who disrespect me. I let them come to me. The boos grew louder. What was supposed to sound strategic came off as cowardly. Fans wanted emotion. They wanted fire. Instead, Roman delivered calculation. His refusal to fight for Jimmy made the entire arena turn against him. A message to Jimmy Uso. Then came the line that shocked everyone. Looking straight into the camera, Roman addressed his cousin directly. Jimmy, what happened to you was unfortunate, but it was also preventable. You should have been more aware. You should have been ready. The crowd gasped. For the first time, Roman blamed Jimmy himself for the attack. He ended by saying that when Jimmy returns, they would have to talk about whether he's still worthy of the bloodline name. The audience erupted in near-universal boos. Even longtime supporters fell silent in disbelief. Backstage fallout and family disapproval reports soon surfaced that members of the Anoa'i family who were in attendance left the arena immediately after the promo. They couldn't stomach what Roman had just said. Backstage, wrestlers watching the monitor reportedly criticized the segment, calling it one of Roman's coldest moments yet. What was intended as heel brilliance had crossed into something else entirely. Something uncomfortable. Drew McIntyre responds. Before Paul Heyman could clean up the damage, Drew McIntyre's entrance theme hit, and the crowd exploded. Drew stepped onto the stage with a microphone, his face a mask of focused fury. He didn't crack a smile or play to the audience. He stared down Roman and said, "I just watched you spend 10 minutes proving what kind of man you really are. You blamed your cousin for being attacked. You made this about yourself. You're not a leader, Roman. You're a coward." Drew's challenge to the tribal chief. The crowd chanted Drew's name as he continued. "You say I'm beneath you? Then why am I the one breaking your bloodline apart while you hide behind excuses?" He listed every member of the family that had fallen under Roman's watch and warned that he wasn't done. "By the time I'm finished, there won't be anyone left to protect you. Then you'll face me, not because you want to, but because you'll have no choice." The emotion in Drew's voice hit hard. This wasn't about championships anymore. It was about pride, family, and truth. Roman's retreat. Roman's response didn't help his case. He called for security to keep Drew away from the ring and then slipped out through the crowd instead of confronting him. The visuals said everything. The once invincible tribal chief now looked hesitant, even afraid. He shouted, "You'll regret this on my terms." But the words lacked power. The image of Roman retreating while Drew stood tall became the night's defining moment. The locker room's reaction. After the show, reports spread that many in the locker room were unhappy with how Roman's promo played out. Some felt it made the character look more heartless than dominant, while others thought it was a bold, creative risk. Whatever the intent, one thing was clear. The WWE Universe had turned. Social media was filled with fans expressing shock and disappointment. Roman had finally crossed the line between villain we love to hate and villain we simply can't stand. The Bloodline at a breaking point. This promo may go down as the turning point for the Bloodline. Roman Reigns, once the unshakable leader, now looks like a man whose empire is crumbling from the inside. His family's loyalty is wavering, his fan support is fading, and Drew McIntyre has positioned himself as the Avenger who might finally end Roman's reign. What began as a story of dominance has become one of downfall and ego. The tribal chief is losing control, not because anyone overpowered him, but because his pride blinded him. What happens next? As SmackDown closed, one question lingered. How much further can Roman Reigns fall before the empire he built collapses entirely? The attack on Jimmy Uso was the spark, but Roman's reaction was the explosion. The WWE Universe isn't just watching a rivalry anymore, they're watching a reckoning. Roman Reigns may still call himself the head of the table, but after this week's promo, that table is starting to crack.